Okay, we are live. Did somebody cut the opening short?
No, it was like that last week too.
Really? It's only 13 seconds. I thought I had it longer. Anyways, we'll fix it. This is Wednesday. And you're watching Direct Line live, and our special guest tonight is Liliana Norkaitis, and she is the Maryland Federation of College Republicans chair, as well as fourth vice president, vice chair?
Right now, recording secretary.
Recording secretary for MFRW. Yes. She is the president of the mighty University of Maryland College Republicans chapter. They're the largest and the greatest in the state, hence our graphic there. You know, we got you and Jake at the mall on the one sunny day we had this month.
Yes.
So welcome. You guys had a lot of fun talking to your chapter last Monday, or was it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. No, we had a lot of fun. We really appreciated it. And
it was great. Great group of kids there. You know. By the way, I did really like your internship page you have on the website for the College Republicans.
Dwight's just gonna compliment Lily for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, actually, let's do this. Let's start with this. You guys have a debate watch party tonight.
Yes, the University of Maryland.
What are you looking to hear from these presidential candidates?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is seeing what candidates can say, or seeing what the candidates say in a way in which can incentivize young people not just to vote for them, but to just to vote, period. That I've seen in the last cycles and whatnot that there's a lot of focus on things like Social Security and Medicare, things that young people just don't really have to worry about right now. So there's less of an incentive to go out and vote for someone or just be excited about someone because we're kind of overlooked as a demographic. But I think there's a lot of potential tonight. Especially, I know education was a big topic at the last debate, and I'm sure it'll come up again. So I think this debate and even the next one will have a huge opportunity to have questions that are definitely catered towards the younger audience.
So this debate's taking place in Simi Valley, California. So I think there'll be a lot of emphasis on the economy and crime, just because those are hot topics in California right now. But the other thing that was a huge draw, I think, for young people to vote Democrat last cycle was Joe Biden's promise of canceling student loan debt. Obviously, I think student loan payments were just now reinforced. Do you think, how do you make that argument to the younger generation of, hey, having everything handed to you on a silver platter? First of all, he didn't keep his promises. But second of all, we're not.
Hey. Don't you see him on the White House balcony going, "You keep your distance. I kept some of my promises," butchering the Evita song.
Right. Bidenomics is working. Right. So how do you explain to a younger generation that having everything handed to you is not the answer, and technically you're still just paying for it later?
Yeah, so it's just that I think that's what we've been able to get across to a lot of our members here on campus is that, yes, even though you are not paying for it right now and the government's going to give you that $10,000 break or up to $20,000 if you're a Pell Grant recipient, that yes, eventually you will be paying for it, and in a more exponential way than just paying off your loans as is. And not only that, I think there's the morality to it of the fairness that we should not be okay with having other people pay for stuff for us for making the decision to go to college. And even then, it's that college is not meant to be something that is easy to obtain. It's supposed to be an investment. Now, is it supposed to be like the cost of a house? No, but that's not something in which the government should be just paying off. We can do other things to lower the cost of college that that don't just try to serve as a band.
When Governor Perry was governor of Texas, he got together with the educators. He goes, "Come up with a $10,000 undergraduate degree." Mm-hmm. It's still pretty astronomical. Like when I went to GW, it was $22,000 a year. I think when Jackie went, it was 100. I think it was 150,000.
75 plus like books and board and rooming.
That was per semester, right?
Maybe. or for the foot. I
And
don't
when
know.
I went to Maryland, it was only like if you didn't live on campus, it was like and you were in state, it was only like less. I think it was less than $2,000.
Yeah, so
Maybe a little bit.
in-state tuition for the state of Maryland right now is just about $10,000. And then obviously when you put room and board on top of that, it gets to about like 26 a year.
Hey, they're keeping up with the Joneses now.
Yeah.
And books are so expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness
I mean,
for
they always-
free PDFs online.
Yeah. So Lily,
They were also just as expensive back then, and I don't know, like professors, they've got a built-in constituency when professors write books.
there's Jake. So
Hey, Jake, welcome
is
to the
good.
show.
Jake, you might be on mute. Maybe. Oh,
There we go.
nope. Now he's on mute again.
Still
Now you're on mute.
Is that
Say
better?
something, Jake.
There we
Damn,
go.
much better. How's the campaign trail?
Sorry for being late. I had a campaign meeting.
Awesome. Well, we'll
So
jump
for
over-
those that don't know, Jake is the first vice chair for the Maryland Federation of College Republicans, and he also happens to be on the ballot. So I know we've seen that there are a lot of YRs who've ran on the ballot, but it's pretty rare that we have a CR on the ballot. I'll go ahead and let Jake talk a little bit about what he's doing and what history he's about to make in Harford County.
Thank you, Lily. I'm Jake Taylor, and I am a candidate for Bel Air Town Commission. So I'm running in my local municipality for our town government. And for the folks that don't know, Maryland has two forms of municipal government: towns and cities. Bel Air is a town, meaning that there's a 5-person commission that is both the legislative and executive authority in the town. Now, the election is this November 7th. So in short order, if I'm elected, I will be the first person born in the 21st century to be a public official in Harford County. So it's a very exciting time for generational change, for conservative generational change in Harford County. There's a lot of campaigning ahead of us, until the first week of November, knocking on doors like crazy. I was just at as I mentioned, a campaign meeting. But I feel very good and very, very thankful for the opportunity to make this kind of history in Harford County.
So, as a town commissioner, what are your top 3 things you'd be hoping to accomplish?
The biggest thing has to be respecting the voice of the citizens of Bel Air. This current board has made a lot of folks angry because there was a referendum for petition that was signed by 2,000 residents. And this is a town of 10,000 people. So that is 20% of the town put their name on this petition. And on grounds that I would consider highly specious, the town commission rejected that petition. A judge has now said that was invalid. But the fact that the board even considered that in the first place and then went through with that illegal action is simply unacceptable. The next big thing is bringing in more small businesses onto Main Street Bel Air. That is a gem of our community. I remember as a kid walking up and down Main Street Bel Air when I was little, and all the different stores that there were there to be had. And we've got too many empty storefronts on Main Street Bel Air. So we're going to do something about that. We're going to continue to bring small businesses in and protect the ones that are still here so they don't have to go elsewhere. And the last big thing is public safety. And I think folks around Maryland can relate to this one. The reality is that Maryland is just getting less safe. There are areas of our state that are safer than others. In Harford County, Bel Air in particular has traditionally been a very safe spot. But we're seeing violent crime particularly begin to emanate out from sort of the hotbeds of crime that we think of when we think of violent crime. So we're trying to keep Bel Air safe. We're going to work with local law enforcement to continue to have Bel Air to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And that's ultimately what the job of any public servant should be about.
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
So, what has the response been so far after you've announced your campaign? Have people been kind of iffy about your age? Although Mason Carter did it countywide in Frederick. So have people been supportive?
Absolutely. I think I'll quote one gentleman whose door I knocked on, who was at first apprehensive. He looked at me and he was like, "You're how old?" And I said 20, and he said 20 what? And I said, "No, that's a 20." But by the end of our conversation, he was just kind of shaking his head, and he was like, "You know what? Maybe younger is better, because I haven't liked what I've been getting out of this current board." So maybe we've got, my campaign slogan has been a new voice for Bel Air. And that's double-edged. It both means new as compared to what's currently going on with the current board, with the current commission, and it also means generational change. We know that the youth in Harford County, I think in particular, is having trouble, like the youth in a lot of places. And so, we need to do more to engage our young people. And this is just one avenue for that. And I hope to provide a voice for a generation that needs to be taken seriously. So I would describe the reaction that I'm getting is heartening. People are excited to see young people that care about their community and care about, civics. So I've been very happy with the reaction I've gotten.
I think you guys could slap "younger is better" on a T-shirt and sell it.
Hey, so Jake, how can people send you some money? Do you have an antidote set up yet?
This is a fantastic question, Dwight. My antidote, my campaign account is set up. My antidote is not yet. That will be the next 2 days' work. But I will get that to you as soon as possible, Mr. Patel.
Okay, absolutely. I'm Dwight. I'm not Mr. Patel.
Like Mr. Patel is my father.
Yes.
I
do it just to mess with you.
And we'll make sure to share your website and your
absolutely
fundraising on
are you doing a kickoff? Are you doing a big kickoff or anything like that?
So I'm running with a team of some great conservatives that are looking to flip the board. A lot of Bel Air as municipal races, most of them are in Maryland. It's nonpartisan, but right now registered Democrats hold a majority on the board. So this is really an opportunity for some change anyways. So this Saturday, sort of the three conservative candidates are getting together and having a meet and greet with voters right in the heart of Bel Air. It'll be a great event on Saturday for folks that are in the area. And then I'm just focused on hitting people's doors. And so the Harford County Young Republicans will be showing out in full force to support these folks. It's great to get young, able bodies knocking on as many doors as possible. So we'll have a lot of great ways that the campaign will be engaging with folks in Bel Air.
Are you finding the newspaper, was it Bel Air Times? Is that still around?
So we traditionally have had the Aegis has been the paper of record in Bel Air.
That's right, it's the Aegis, yeah.
Yeah.
Paper,
Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, the Aegis was swallowed whole by the Baltimore Sun.
It used to be owned by Republicans, by the way.
It used to be. It was for many years the paper of record in Bel Air. And so while the Aegis is certainly doing some local reporting still, as any paper does when it loses its independence, it's just not the same because it's tucked away on some page, and the Baltimore Sun has about 1,000 ads per click. It's just not the same. I will say that the network of local reporters that are still interested in getting, fair community news out, you've got a lot of bloggers on websites like The Patch that just try to put information out there without putting any spin on it. But that's what the state of media looks like in Old Bel Air.
Because the Aegis, I remember when the Aegis used to be a print publication. Because back in 2002, 2003, when I finished Ray Kroll's biography, we actually drove up in the Aegis paper, did a article on Ray. Yeah. Because do you know Bobby Infusey, by the way?
I do know that name. I can't put my finger on it.
We'll talk offline about that.
All right.
Because he's somebody that can help you.
I want to shift gears back to where we were before Jake joined us, which is talking about life as a Republican on a college campus. So I remember when I was in school, I had people refuse to work with me on group projects. This was after the 2016 election. I had a professor ask people if they were comfortable working with the Republican in a group project setting, all kinds of terrible things. They held a candlelight vigil when Hillary Clinton lost. So have you guys experienced anything like that? Whether it's like, I had one professor who had a mandatory lecture that they took attendance at where they just gave a PowerPoint presentation on why Trump would be a bad president. So have you guys experienced anything like that being on campus?
So I definitely have. It was literally my first semester last year. I started out, I had my roommate put in the roommate finder. You can put in hobbies. So I put moderate / conservative politics, hoping that, I don't know, maybe I'll get a Republican that matched. No, they put me in a single. I had no roommate my freshman year. I guess either because they didn't want to enable the Republicans on campus, or there were no others that wanted to, that would have wanted to be my roommate. So yes, it was great being in a single last year, but so would have been nice to have a roommate, but no. So then, the second week on campus, I was fortunate enough to be nominated for freshman representative in the SGA on campus, and I ended up ultimately getting denied from the legislature for my partisan dealings. At the time I was the deputy director for the state party, and they didn't know how I was going to be able to look past my partisan tendencies. Yet the person before me said that she wanted more diversity and equity events, but got through unanimously with no question. But I said we need to look at the budget and try to figure out how we can reduce tuition or get a better bang for our buck and not have useless spending. But then I got denied. So there are definitely things within involvement in organizations that Republicans are just not fond of being at. So that's where the CRs really comes in, and providing a space where we can all just, again, speak our minds and be who we are without having to just change or put on a certain persona to be able to literally just be a student here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I know at the Brown University where my nephew Matthew went, they actually had Democrat infiltrators at college Republicans meeting. So they come in there, they flip their cameras out, they record what they're saying. I mean, they never get anything, but what are they trying to do? Catch them to say something racial or something like that? It's like the left has gone insane on college campuses, frankly.
Mm-hmm. No,
they had Ben Shapiro on campus when I was at GW, and I had a class that night, so I couldn't go. But it sold out in 14 minutes. I think most of it was Democrats who were trying. And that's why he posts those videos of him basically owning them. But I got the same thing. I got rejected from the student senate for being a Republican.
See, the difference is when I was in school 25 years ago, almost now, you had liberals. Liberals have always been in academia, but at least they were. I mean, today they're just very, very intolerant. The professors. I mean, it's like this is like the class of '68 on steroids. It's all those hippies. They cut their hair and got some of them and got jobs in academia, and they're just pushing their stick it to the man. But yet they are the man now. Frankly, they are the ones that are telling us to put masks on. They're the ones saying.
Jake, what's your college experience been like?
Well, I think it's a rite of passage for every young conservative to really do battle with their socialist professor, right? You can't really call yourself a college Republican until you've gone back and forth a few rounds with, somebody who, quite frankly, their acid trip in 1971 never stopped. And that's just kind of how they perceive reality in a permanent way. But I will say I've been very blessed. I go to Loyola University. And I will say that the kinds of things I experience there are a lot less aggressive than what Lily was describing at a big state school like UMD. That being said, one thing that I often find really interesting, and this is across academia, Dwight hit it on the head. You've got folks that swear up and down they're interested in diversity. They swear up and down they're interested in amplifying minority voices, however they choose to define that. But as soon as we get to diversity of thought, as soon as we get to an ideological minority, as soon as we get to a viewpoint that does not comport with this worldview that has been so carefully constructed to make this academic bubble that so many universities sit in, all of a sudden you become persona non grata. You get forced out. And unless you are courageous about it or really good at hiding it, you're going to be shut out of a lot of the spaces where decisions are made on your campus. So I've been very fortunate to sort of say, hey, look, if I can take the bullet here and respectfully rebut the sort of socialist drivel that a philosophy professor is spewing out, I have no idea what's going to happen to me, but I do know that the 5 people in that class that agree with me are going to feel empowered to do that themselves the next time. And the results then from that are just exponential. Young people don't want socialism by and large. Sure, you've got the young democratic socialists and they know what they're about. But just your average young person who wants to get a job, wants to buy a house, wants to start a family, wants to live the American dream, they want to grasp that. They're not interested in government, taking out its planner and planning to the 5th minute their entire life. So I think we've got a really strong message. I think it resonates. And that's, I spend my time taking the bullet so that other people feel compelled to step up and do it themselves.
So
So
let me ask you guys, Biden inflation has been running rampant for the last 3 years now. How do you see inflation affecting the way many college students are living these days, as in having to make sacrifices and this and that, doing this instead of that because they need the money to pay for food and other luxuries like school textbooks, which are really expensive and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll give a little personal little experience. So I just paid off my car. Took me like a year to pay off. But with
Wait, hold on. You paid off your own debts?
I did pay off my own debt.
what a
That's a
novel
crazy
idea.
thought. Oh
You
my
didn't
god.
you didn't think Uncle
But when
Joe
you
should
take
have
back a
come?
loan, you pay it yourself because wow, yeah.
Wait, you don't think
No,
Uncle
but
Joe should have paid for it?
but no, interest was literally insane. And because of when I took the loan out, which was about when the interest rates were then raised again, it was not fun. I ended up paying like over $1,000 more than what I like should have paid, simply because of interest. And I think that is definitely something that a lot of college students are faced with, whether it's their own loans or car loans, anything like that, where because college students don't have like a built up credit score to be able to get low interest rates, it's a lot of young people that are footing the bill for these astronomical interest rates that inflation is not helping. But I mean, food, definitely, gas, they're definitely significantly higher than they were. I find myself taking the metro a lot more than driving, just because it is cheaper to take the metro.
You know how safe Metro is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I not ride the metro past like 8 p.m. but
Yeah.
but no, I mean, there are definitely challenges that I think young people face with inflation that I hope is some sort of wake up for the election, that we anyone in the country can't keep affording the Bidenomics that we have. But I think especially young people who don't have as much to fall back on or as much of a foundation really need a change.
So changing gears a little to CRs as an organization and what you guys are doing as a statewide organization, can you talk a little bit about what your plans are, what you want to accomplish, big events you guys want to do?
Yeah, so I'll start off. It's been about 2 months now in the term, about like a month and a half. First thing we want to do is get established contact with all of our chapters, all the ones we had, see where we could have new chairs come in. I think we counted up last night. I think we have like 8 or 9 active chapters right now, which is pretty good. We've been making sure that they have resources to be able to get like speakers or be able to have avenues of relationships with the GOP clubs around their campus to be able to have that infrastructure for any time they need support. But one of the big things that I wanted to do in this term is that I want to make CRs more than just like a fun college experience. I want it to be something that will help people grow professionally, which Dwight alluded to in the beginning. Today we launched our internship portal on our website. So I think I added a few more. So there's about 20 internships now all around the state and DC, varying options of full-time, part-time, remote work. All of which are organizations that either are center or right-leaning that would give students an opportunity to work in an environment that is not going to ridicule them for being or for feeling a certain way. But also, most of the organizations that are on there are ones that we have relationships with just anyways. So we want to be able to make sure that CRs are able to get jobs or internships that lead to what they do after college. And then I guess after that, big thing again is just getting as many people involved as we can and growing our chapters and showing that there can be Republicanism on campus.
And one last thought, because I know you guys have a debate watch party you're headed to.
Yes.
We're also celebrating 20 years since Governor Orlick was elected governor and sworn in. How has Governor Orlick inspired you young folks, like you and Jake,
Yeah, so I know for both of us, but I know because I was born a year after Jake, but no, so Bob Ehrlich was born, or I was born in the middle of Bob Ehrlich's term, so I wasn't around. I know Jake, although it probably was already knocking on doors by the time he was about 6 months old for candidates. We weren't around for that time, but hearing all of the stories from people, various points in the party, sharing about all the good that he's done and the infrastructure that he established for the GOP going forward within the 21st century, I think is really admirable. And he's always been an amazing support for young people in the party. And one of my favorite jokes I always make all the time is that, like, Bob, how's it feel that I was not here when you started your term? And he always says, "Oh, that makes me feel old," but no, I think he's been an incredible asset to not just the state but also the party and how we can move forward in this time of getting back to having control within the state.
There wasn't a single candidate in the 2022 midterms, Republican candidate, that Bob Ehrlich turned down doing a fundraiser for. You know, if you needed the governor to come support you in these past midterms, which we know were rough for Maryland Republicans, Bob Ehrlich was on the front line to get you some money to make it not quite as rough. And I was Christian Mealy's campaign manager up there in Harford County in the 34th legislative district, and he came out all the way to Bel Air to do a fundraiser for Christian, and he did the same for many great candidates across the state. So Bob is someone who both in the past and in the present has really just been an incredible leader for Maryland Republicans, and young or old, I know we're all very grateful for him.
I don't think I could add anything to that you guys have both said. He's been just a huge advocate for young people, both the CRs and the YRs, and is really willing to put his money where his mouth is and be there and be on the ground to help conservatism move forward. Not just him, but Kendall as well. And Kendall,
yes, absolutely.
Kendall is who I want to be when I grow up. So as we get into our last few minutes here, so we can let you guys go get ready for your debate party, are there any events or anything you guys want to plug other than, of course, the Governor Ehrlich dinner, which is on 10/12, October 12th at the BWI Hilton.
At BWI Hilton.
And
tickets are...
We're going.
Yep. So CRs will be there. We're helping volunteer and make sure everything runs smoothly. So gives people an opportunity to make relationships and learn about the state party for members who have not had that opportunity yet. But big thing with CRs right now, we don't have any events planned at the moment, but we do have an antidote. So if anyone's willing to donate, we would be eternally grateful. That it takes money and to get the gears going and get resources that are going to help us grow our chapters. So that would be much appreciated. But also, again, if you have a student, or if you have a student yourself, a child, grandchild, niece, nephew, friend, who goes to a university in Maryland, go to our website, mdfcr.gop, and you can find contact for all of our clubs. We need everyone we can to know that CRs exist, and get us to growing to levels that good infrastructure. But no, I'm really, thank you, Dwight and Jackie, for hosting us, and but yeah, so check out the website.
Thank you, Lily. And I'd be remiss if I didn't once again plug the Maryland Young Republicans first annual or inaugural legislative summit, taking place October 7th at Wisp Resort in Garrett County. Please come out. It's free to attend. You just have to get yourself there and pay for your own hotel room. But we've already announced 4 legislators who will be in attendance, and I know we have some more in the works. So far we have delegates Jim Heimbaugh and Mike Griffith and Jason Buckle, the minority leader, as well as Senator Mike McKay. And we have a lot of really great panels. So if you're looking for a great way to spend a Saturday in a beautiful part of the state, come on out to that. And we have sponsorships available for that as well. And Dwight, what else? Do we have anything else to plug?
Yeah, we've got, we've got the Ehrlich event. Go to mdgop.org to buy your tickets. A lot of luminaries will be there. There'll be people there you haven't seen in years that are coming out to see Governor Ehrlich. This is going to be a great party for the governor, and it's a lot of fun. So I think it's going to be great. We'll have a lot of fun. And also, next Tuesday is the Prince George's County's Lincoln Reagan dinner. They have Vivek Ramaswamy is their speaker. It'll be a great event at the Bowie Comfort Inn right on the cusp of Anne Arundel County. So folks in Anne Arundel County, you guys can come on out there. It's not nearly as far as a drive it is for me to come out there. So, and hopefully it won't be raining Tuesday. I've gone there in the rain. It's taken literally traffic is horrible on 50.
All right. Well, that will do it for us. Everybody go and enjoy the debate. We'd love to hear your commentary. Let us know your thoughts. And we'll be back next week with another exciting guest. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much.
Bye, guys.